Hello Xavier Musketeers, today is April 30th, 2021, and our final broadcast of the semester. I'd like to thank Xavier University for the past 4 years and wish all my fellow graduates good luck. I'm Jake G. Henson.
And I'm Trevor Ray. Take it away, Jake.
This is Xavier News.
Xavier University Television Studio, this is Xavier News. Your campus, your region, your world. This is Xavier News.
Joe Rogan has fallen under criticism for his suggestion on his podcast that young, healthy people don't need to get vaccinated. As Spotify's top podcast host, many sources, including Dr. Fauci, are distressed by his comment and refuted his claim with scientific evidence. CNN medical analyst Dr. Jonathan Reiner said in a response, quote, "The young are the reservoirs of this virus in our community. They are really powering the spread, so the only way to put this virus down once and for all is to immunize," end quote. Rogan addressed these concerns yesterday on his podcast, saying that he's not anti-vax and that he intends to get vaccinated soon. He told his listeners that, quote, "I'm not a doctor, not a respected source of information, even for me," end quote.
Yesterday, Joe Biden passed an important milestone after completing 100 days as President of the United States. A new CNN poll found that 53% of Americans approve of how Biden is handling the job, and 59% say he's doing well on keeping his campaign promises. He earned net positive approval on 7 out of the 9 issues, including in the poll, with a very high 67% approval rating on his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. The poll also asked Americans how they felt about the economy, with 54% saying that they felt that economic conditions are very or somewhat good, up from 43% in January.
Astronaut Michael Collins sadly died on Wednesday after a battle with cancer. Michael Collins was one of the astronauts on the 1969 Apollo 11 lunar mission, and although he never got to set foot on the moon, he played a crucial role in humanity's first moon landing. Michael Collins was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom later that year and received the Congressional Gold Medal in 2011. His fellow Apollo 11 crew member, Buzz Aldrin, wrote on Facebook, quote, "Dear Mike, whether you have or been or will be, you will always have the fire to carry and defy to new heights and to the future. We will miss you. May you rest in peace," end quote. On a separate note, the COVID-19 pandemic has been hard for all of us this year, especially for college students. Here's some Xavier students talking about their hopes for next year.
It's been a little bit more challenging to make new friends and stuff, but and school has been a little bit different, like being online or /hybrid, but I mean, I've still gotten to know a good amount of people.
I've definitely been missing classes being in person. I've definitely felt like a little bit of a drop in like my academics and like the fun of the classroom, and I definitely miss being able to see everyone around campus that I enjoy hanging out with.
It just changed a lot because you don't get to see like as many people, and I feel like I haven't met like a lot of people, and I just want to like widen my like friend group circle, I guess, which is kind of hard to do when it's like on Zoom and stuff.
It's been a lot different, especially like I feel like community is a big thing at Xavier, and I feel like that's kind of been hurt a little bit by COVID. I mean, we're still like all for one, but it just like it gets kind of tough at times. It's still been good. I'm glad we're on campus. I'm glad we're here. I think Xavier's taking all the right precautions, but I'm excited to get back to normal.
I think like being able to see people's smiles like without the mask is going to make a big difference, and like being able to hang out in common spaces and just outside and around campus, I think it'll be a lot easier to like build community.
I would say probably like basketball games and like baseball games because like we're not allowed to go right now. And I was just really excited to do that when I came here, and then we weren't allowed to. So I'm looking forward to that.
This Saturday, May 1st, Ohio State grad student Josh Reiskamp will be running from Columbus to Cincinnati to help raise money for both cities' children's hospitals. When asked about them, he said, quote, "Both hospitals really focused on diseases that are really hard for families to deal with, brain cancers and genetic diseases. These are the things that affect children for their entire lives. And I think both institutions are doing amazing work to really push the science forward so we can help kids with these types of diseases and help their families," end quote. Already, Reiskamp has been able to raise $1,000. The run is expected to start at around 5:30 a.m. and end tomorrow night at Clear Creek Park.
Today, Vice President Kamala Harris is coming to Cincinnati as part of her America Back on Track tour. Vice President Harris intends to focus on Cincinnati's public transportation problems, as well as gain support for President Biden's $12 trillion American Jobs Plan. She's participating in a roundtable discussion with Cincinnati Mayor John Cranley, as well as the Ohio Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown on how Biden's investments in public transportation can fuel the economy. They are expected to talk about the multiple recent issues with the Brent Spence Bridge and how to improve transit downtown.
On the 21st of April, many Xavier students, including faculty and staff, gathered in the academic mall for Xavier Together to mourn the lives of those lost to racial violence, as well as to promote justice and positive change. This comes closely after the Derek Chauvin verdict, where he has been convicted on all charges in the death of George Floyd. Xavier criminal justice professor Ronald Springman explains the possible impacts of the case, saying, quote, "There's still a lot more work to do. There is a long way to go to root out systemic racism. The trial can serve as a turning point where police departments start to rethink their mission and approach," end quote. Here's a quick look at the event.
In the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful, Creator, we ask your mercy so that we may heal and heal from the trauma of white supremacy on our black and brown bodies and on our black, brown, and white souls. Most knowledgeable one, we ask you for courage and worthiness so that we may realize that to remain in our own comfort zones is to betray our own growth and our common trajectory towards justice. Racism is not just what is said or what is done, but also what is not said, what is disregarded, what is ignored, and what is willfully neglected. All hearing and all-knowing God, give us clarity of thought and heart. Let us not be satisfied with the way things are today. Yesterday was not justice. Yesterday was accountability.
As of April 21st, student health services operated by TriHealth will make the Pfizer vaccine available this week in the hub. The vaccines are available to Xavier students and employees 16 and up. Appointments are available on a first-come, first-served basis, and you should call Student Health Services should you need to make an appointment.
Get ready for a loud summer. Billions of cicadas are getting ready to emerge in the Cincinnati area after a 17-year hiatus. Gene Kritsky, the Dean of Behavioral and Natural Sciences at Mount St. Joseph University, says they're expecting the insects to arrive around May 13th, give or take a day or two. Experts say that up to 1.5 million cicadas can be produced from just 1 acre of land. Kritsky says, quote, "They're not going to bite, they're not going to sting as far as pests go. If you have a dog, for example, that doesn't know when to stop eating and just wants to eat cicadas that he or she can find, that's not good. That could cause a bowel obstruction," end quote.
School year is coming to an end, and we are slowly starting to say goodbye to the class of 2021, and so is Don't Tell Anna. Tonight is Don't Tell Anna's senior show. They'll be saying goodbye to 2 seniors, Thomas Webby and Nick Moore. DTA is a comedy improv troupe on campus, so if you're looking for something fun to do tonight, stop by the 4th floor of the hub from 9 to 10, or find more information on Engage XU.
Last night, the Senior Digital Innovation Film and Television, or DIFT students, screened their films virtually for a world audience while sitting as a class in the Kennedy Theater on campus. In all, the students shared 2.5 hours of original programming, 12 narrative projects, and 2 documentaries. The director of the program, Bliss DeVault, explained to the group, "It is tough to make your first film, but they get easier every time you make one." She also expressed that this group can do just about anything. Producing 14 films during a pandemic was an impressive accomplishment. It was a great show, and you can still catch it by visiting the Xavier Digital Innovation Film and Television Facebook page. Now that's all from the news desk.
We'll be right back with the Xavier Sports Report.
Welcome back to our last Xavier Sports Report. I'm Marta Berglund. Let's jump right in. Last night was the first round of the NFL Draft in Cleveland, Ohio. For the first pick in the draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars selected quarterback Trevor Lawrence. In their first pick, the Bengals selected wide receiver Jamar Chase. With this selection, Chase was reunited with his former college quarterback, Joe Burrow. The second night of the draft, which has rounds 2 and 3, is tonight at 7 p.m. After a tough losing streak, the Cincinnati Reds just won their latest series against the league-leading Dodgers. A big reason for the Reds' recent wins is leadoff batter Jesse Winker. Up until the game on Wednesday, Jesse Winker had a 12-game hitting streak. Winker currently has 6 home runs and a .397 batting average. The Reds will start their series at home against the Chicago Cubs at 7:10 tonight. Exciting news in Xavier sports this week. The women's tennis team won their second Big East title last Monday, beating DePaul 4-1 in the championship. They won their last title back in 2016. The women's golf team, not wanting to be outdone, also won the Big East title. Last weekend, the team traveled down to Florida to capture their second straight conference win. And the baseball team is also doing well, winning their last series against Butler. Xavier won 3 out of the 4 games and scored 35 runs in the series. The Musketeers' record improves to 14-15, and they hope to stay on this hot streak as they start their series against the University of Connecticut Huskies this weekend. That's all this semester for sports. Thank you, Xavier, for 4 great years. Keep being extraordinary, Musketeers, and as always, let's go X.